The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views or ideas of the staff or management of KWSH or the 110 Broadcast Group.
It's Jay. Hey the Mahe. Bull White Killer Child Chilcoat here with you, coming live from the studios of KWSH here in Seminole, Oklahoma, Seminole Nation Reservation. We are 97.7 FM, 1260 AM, and 100% Istajadi in the seat. All right. Hope everybody's having a good Tuesday. Get ready to hit that hump day tomorrow. Bring it on into the weekend. Hope everything's going good and well with you and yours on your end. And today we got a special guest to be traveling in soon. We got some information. We've got a lot of things cooking I wanted to share with you today as far as what's going on within the reservation and the nation itself. It's a good day to be indigenous. I always wanted to say that on the radio, so now I got a chance to do it. Now, next thing, I'll be sitting up on an RV somewhere with a folding chair, watching the birds fly overhead and doing traffic report, stuff like that. But we already got one young man down in southern part of the res who does the weather report, so we got it all covered. Just wanted to share some information with you about the band chiefs meeting that went on last night, and of course we got some other things regarding general council news. I do want to, before I forget, say happy birthday to my sister Dee Harjo down there at the building, the old ASAP building right there just south of Pink Laundry, where we're housed with the higher education program. Dee Harjo's going to be having a birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday, Dee. Going to have good cake from Claire, I'm sure, too, huh? In it. All right. Get some of that tafumaji, those wild onions for you. But we'll get back to our regular format here next week. Last week we had a pre-recorded segment. Again, this is April. It's Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And part of that is the promotion of some of the material that they've got through our domestic violence program. So we definitely want to share that with you. We have a couple of PSAs and videos, things that are going to be promoted even more so. So we just ask that you take a look at them and see some of the facts and figures of things that are going on with that. And then this week, of course, with what we're doing, we're just kind of expanding some of our presence and specifically some of the topics that are related to the Seminole Nation, and just giving a little bit more time to those things. And we'll continue to, of course, give the news and information out to you through our social media sites and through everything else. And so with the new expanded format, we just ask that you if you got any things, critiques of it or anything, please hit us up at SeminoleNationMedia@gmail.com. That's SeminoleNationMedia@gmail.com. We're always looking to improve. We're always looking to make our foxhole better. It's going to take all of us to do that. And anything, ideas, complaints that you may have, just send them our way, because we always look at them and check them out. And like I said, definitely want to improve our area of operation. I just wanted to also just share right away. some of the job listings at Seminole Nation Division of Commerce, as was handed to me this morning. If you go to their website, Seminole Nation Division of Commerce, or on Facebook at SINDOC, you can see, I know SINDOC has their own internal Facebook page as well as the SINDOC, the Aquaponics Project. And that's one of the jobs that they have listed right now. 10 total job listings. You have an aquaponics technician, a business development manager, entry-level cashiers at Woka, Kanawha, 2 at Kanawha, and 1 in Woka, 1 in Seminole, 2 in Seminole, and then an environmental protection technician and a store manager in Woka. So if you get a chance, check out their Facebook page and job listings, as well as the Seminole Nation website for the careers, and you can see jobs that are available, things that are out there. It's always good to have that new job. Chief, what was the first job you ever had?
Washing dishes.
Where'd you wash dishes at?
At Maxwell's Restaurant in Medford, Oklahoma.
Medford, washing dishes.
Yeah, I was about 12 years old at the time, and a friend of mine, his family owned the Maxwell Restaurant there in town, and I was looking to make some money, and it was like $3.15 an hour, I believe, is what I got at that time. So I made a little over $21 that day.
Wow.
And I was thinking that I was in hog heaven too. But I will tell you that being as short as I was back then and not really understanding really the work that was required, the dish pans were about as big as I was, and so it was quite a quick learning experience, I promise you. But that was the only thing that I did like out of that whole deal outside of washing dishes is that at lunchtime, boy, they fixed some good food.
I bet.
So I enjoyed that.
I bet. Good memories. How long did you stay there?
Oh, it wasn't very long. I can tell you, it wasn't very long. The money though was pretty good though.
$21.
$21, boy, I thought it was pretty good, but I didn't stay there very long.
Yeah, $21 went a long way back in the 40s, right, Chief?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, come on, Bo. Nicer than that.
How are you doing today, Chief? How's everything going?
Doing just fine. Glad to be here. Glad to have an opportunity to join you on the air. I always enjoy the opportunity to be able to share a few things. But yeah, everything's fine. I mean, we all have challenges that we face each and every day, and no different here. And I look forward to them and try to be as positive and about those things, and to keep this in mind. I'm going to share my mission statement again, is to always look to inspire and empower our people for success. And even though we face these challenges, we always have to keep that in mind. So that's what I try to do.
Well, kind of prepped everybody on all the kind of goings on party coming in. Just one of the things we want to talk about today was the band meeting, the actual band meeting from last night, and how it's been going, and what are some of your takeaways from these meetings, and kind of describe to the folks who don't attend, and even our at-large people, our viewers who check us out on the video playback. What are some of these takeaways, and what do they need to be aware of from these band meetings?
Well, I think that the band chiefs meeting last night, I think was very good. I think it gives us an opportunity to have discussion and to come together and talk about these things that are important for the nation. And there's a lot of things going on right now that are very important for the nation, and it does give those leaders of their bands the opportunity to be able to hash out those things. What are their concerns? What are their questions about? And that we can come together and discuss those, and can find a possible resolution. Is it something we're going to find right at that particular moment? Maybe not. But it does open it up for discussion, and I think that's always a good thing. And I think that that's a positive with it, because going back here, as we all know, as our reservational boundaries have been reaffirmed, and with that reaffirmation of that, it does bring a lot of discussion to the table and a lot of things to consider. And so I think with the concerns of the band chiefs and them wanting to be engaged and to get involved, I think is a great thing, because it does open up the door for for communication, for information. And information is huge here because things are changing all the time. There's things that are going on around us that we are not aware of at all times. And unless it's shared with you, unless you understand it, you're not going to know, because as fast as we talk about something right now, something else is going on at the exact same breath that this has been said that could possibly have an effect on that. And so we have to be very sharp, very on point about it, and know we want to move forward in a balanced effort that can help, you know, and keep a positive influence out there.
One of the things you just kind of touched on something that I know one of the band chiefs, Rodney Factor, he got up there and shared with the group how the dynamic is changing, how it's ever changing, the fluidity of it all, and that you know, we should be proactive in its approach of what these changes are and be aware of them, so that we can bring something to the table. Can you comment and describe kind of the climate of the band chiefs when they all get together? What is it like? What do you feel as a leader when these meetings are happening? What's your part in it?
My part in it, I'm there to observe. You know, I know that the information that's been given, you know, for the discussions, and so I'm there to observe. You know, and if there is some things that they need for me to address, I'll be more than happy to address those. And I do that pretty much if there's a question that's directly that needs some attention directly from me. I'm glad to be able to share, you know, what I have knowledge of in regards to their concerns. Again, I felt that the temperature last night in the band chiefs meeting was very good. I thought there was a lot of discussion, a lot of things that were brought to the table that concerns different ones, and I thought it was good to get out on the table and be able to talk about it. There is a lot of changing. As I stated earlier, there's a lot of things that are changing. A lot of things to take into consideration. One that we talked about last night, just so that, you know, everybody out there has an idea. We talked about our Lighthorse, you know, and it was about trying to strengthen our support for them, to help those law enforcement officers perform and do their jobs in a bigger capacity. And I think that that was a positive discussion about that, because there's more things being asked of them in this enlarged capacity.
That was one of the questions I had, was given the responsibilities of the reservation area and the expansion of the Seminole Nation government and the safety of its people. You know, we still have no allocation of funding for 3 Lighthorse. And that was on the agenda at the last resolution for the council meeting that was called last week. Did the council? The measure was tabled. Did the council muff the punt?
You know, I don't know. I think that there's challenges that we have to face, and we have to understand them. I would say that there was some difficulty in understanding that outcome, and so that particular decision that was made to table it, I think that it didn't resolve the problem or what we were trying to help with. That did not resolve that in regards to helping the Lighthorse move forward. So hopefully, knowing a little bit more about what took place, that we can come back with a wiser, you know, approach, and maybe be able to understand that with the reservational boundaries being reaffirmed and enlarged as such, that we can make a stronger commitment towards them to help them. I wouldn't say, you know, that any decision was. I just say that it left a little bit more of a challenge for us, and so I think that's just trying to work through that to help provide for a better, stronger law enforcement.
Would you say that time? I don't mean put words in your mouth, but would you say time is crucial? I mean, we can't afford to waste time, or be deliberate about these things?
No, in regards to such a major decision, because it's alive and well, and what I mean by that, it's a living document, so to speak. It was reaffirmed, and so once it was reaffirmed, things start changing and things start moving. Now, we've always been under the assumption that things are always going to work a certain way. They do not always work the way that we always assume that they're going to work. And so we have to be prepared for that. And yes, time is of the essence, because there's protocols in place to be able to bring these 3 officers on, and it takes time in order to get the right individuals to provide the kind of law enforcement that we need to be able to provide for public safety. And so, yes, time is of the essence. It was of major concern at the time in which it was brought forth. That's why it was such a quick turnaround as far as trying to get the meeting called and to get these law officers on board. Understand that there's been a little delay, which it will lengthen it out some, but we've had some communication with our law enforcement, with Lighthorse, to let them understand what we're trying to accomplish for them, so that they can provide that public safety when is called upon them to do so.
What are the band chiefs in these meetings? What are they getting right about this whole process?
I think the sense of urgency. I think the abilities to come together and communicate and talk about that. I think that's getting it right. As their leadership within their bands, by them displaying their leadership and stepping up to the plate to meet that demand, that's the right thing.
I've got to just comment on that, because you've seen it. I mean, for myself, having been there at each of these meetings, there's a distinct change, a distinct trust being built, and a distinct ease at which they are talking and discussing and not and sharing their views and opinions, and it's all done with respect, and that's something that's to be applauded.
No, I agree. I think that, as I stated, I think it the ease. I mean, we're sitting down trying to share information that has an effect on our people, and it's real. I mean, it's a real thing. This is a real time in regards to the changes, and there's some changes that are distinctly coming, and we need to be able to be assertive on that, on providing that public safety, providing those opportunities to look at how we can capitalize on things, and that will benefit and create balance for us all. But we have to understand the moment that we have to capitalize, but we have to be engaged, and we have to have those discussions to have an understanding of what's out there, what's coming, what's changing, and then how do we approach that.
What's the way forward with these meetings?
I just think that we just need to continue the way forward. I think that we just need to stay engaged and understand the sense of urgency, the sense of the sense of purpose. There's a purpose for this, and that's our way forward, is understanding our purpose and understanding how we want to look at that, and what do we want to do with that. It's like that mission statement. Our purpose is to inspire and empower our people for success. How can we have that purpose in these meetings to get that information out there to help us move forward? And I think that's a way forward, is just understanding our purpose, understanding being united, working together, and to being able to accomplish the things necessary to help strengthen the nation and creating balance for us all.
I'm a listener from Bowlegs, Tom Palmer band member. I'm listening to you on the radio. What can I do to get involved?
I think right off the bat, I would talk either with your band chief or your council rep, and want to talk with them. And heck, I mean, you can call me. I mean, if you want to get involved, I mean, we can help you to get involved in any which way possible. Here's the thing with that question. I would strongly encourage that. Man, by all means, we want people to get involved. This is a time in which things are changing, and the ruling came down that in regards to reservational boundaries being reaffirmed, and that is very profound. And this is a time we want people to get involved. So if you are a tribal member out there and you've not been engaged before, reach out to your representative, reach out to your band chiefs, reach out to the nation, to the complex. I mean, if you don't have any idea who they are, call the complex, reach out to me, or to anybody there. We'll get you in touch with them. But because we want involvement. We want people to be understanding of what the nation stands for and the sovereignty behind the nation that you're a part of, because we want you to be a part of the nation.
You want to put a blurb out? Is there a general council meeting coming forward? Are we looking to see a special call talking about some of these things we just talked about?
Yes. There will be a special call meeting called for Thursday.
22nd?
Yeah. April the 22nd at 7 o'clock. And it will be to continue discussion in regards to some of the things we talked about as far as Lighthorse, which that is a very important item that's on our agenda. There will be a few other things that will be discussed, but mainly that particular item right there is the one that has the most validity right now.
I know our band chief, Tom Palmer, band chief, stated they want to try to have a meeting prior to that, of course. I'm looking to hopefully get the gym and maybe even just do a virtual. I mean, the gym is always open for meetings of that nature, even though we're closed. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So we'll be looking to see that. Switch gears here, pushing the clutch, put it into another gear. Recently, the InterTribal Council, the 5 tribes, held its quarterly meeting, and Seminole Nation was visibly absent. Care to elaborate?
Yes, we were. There is. There is reasons for us, not being present at InterTribal. I think that we kind of discussed it last night. I don't want to go into great detail over it, but I just felt that it was necessary.
Economic impact of the tribes in Oklahoma has increased substantially during the past few years, and funds from the American Rescue Plan are only going to continue this trend. Tribes are also set to receive billions of dollars from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, which could result in the largest infusion of cash to the tribes for the infrastructure. While the COVID-19 pandemic has hit tribal, non-tribal communities alike, tribes are looking at positive economic impacts that they could have on its future, including the increasing employment numbers. It was a boon to us for the Seminole Nation. This was a positive to us this past year. First, has the Seminole Nation received any of these funds yet? No,
not at all.
Okay.
It is the federal government has given down a timeline that they're supposed to give it to us no later than May 11th, but we haven't seen anything. Now, we've had discussions or consultations in regards to that, but that's been it.
Okay. Do we have a plan on the distribution of funds, and can we expect individual payments similar to the last disbursement?
I don't know that. I can't right off the bat answer that, but I can't say that it wouldn't be something similar to that. But we don't really have any foundation right yet. Even with this funding, we don't know how much we're going to get. That's not. We don't even have a clue.
And that's with all tribes as well.
That's with all tribes. Yes. I do know in discussions what they're trying to look at is that the approach, the formula that they took at it the last time for the CARES funding, and now this being the ARPA funding, American Rescue Plan Act funding, is that they're looking at how they want to change the formula up a little bit, and I'm hoping that they do. on that, because it'll give a true analogy all across the board for all native tribes, and it would have a positive, I feel, a positive impact on ours as well. Plus, it will also, I believe, on some of the suggestions that they've been asking for, is that will we be able to use it to fulfill some of our immediate needs that will help secure the nation.
And the tribes are a lot more involved in this than the last one.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, they are. There's the last one was so fast and furious that there was not only that, there was some question about who it would go to, who it wouldn't go to, and so it has definitely been more involved this go around.
What are some of the lessons that Seminole Nation learned from the CARES disbursement? What do we learn from the last disbursement? It's
a very, very difficult process. That's what I've learned from it. It's a very, very difficult process. We have attempted at several different ways, trying to maybe figure out an easier process, but and so I think we might have an easier process maybe this time after the first two rounds. So we'll see. I'm hoping so. That we're working really hard to try to make it an easier process for everybody, but it is very difficult.
Let's switch gear here a little bit. The Indian Child Welfare Act was established in 1978. It was enacted by Congress after finding an alarmingly high percentage of Indian families are broken up by the removal, often unwarranted, of their children from them by non-tribal public and private agencies. For years, tribal leaders have lauded it as a tool for preserving Native culture and preventing unwanted removals. What do we, as tribal members, need to be aware of, as this is part of the state and sovereignty discussion?
I think that what we need to be aware of ICWA and of it being a part of a reservational boundary, a part of our sovereignty, a part of that being an open door now of how we need to look at that program and look at how it can support our children and how we can get involved. This is an opportunity for us to engage and move forward in a way that we can protect our children's sovereignty. The cultural aspect of it, the families aspect of it, understanding, do we want to provide an environment for those children that are Native American children or tribal members alike, that we can come together and provide that support our children, and to be able to understand the strength of what that means to them, to our families, to our nation, to the history of that, and support that moving forward. This is a very huge time, and this is a very big part of it too. It goes back to the Lighthorsemen. This is a very, very big program that provides a foundation for the future of our family, for the future of our children, and we need to stay engaged in that. And I ask that tribal members out there that are listening, or maybe listen later on, to look to engage, to get involved, because it will need you. We'll need you moving forward, because this is a time for that. The time is now, and it's been brought to the table. Now we need to respond.
How can we respond?
By being a foster parent, by looking to see how you can step up and help support these children, whether it be through foster parenting, whether it be through guardianship, or some realm like that, because we need to have families involved. We want to support. We want to be able to do that for our children, and to provide that element. And we need families like that all across, because it is very important for us to be able to protect that culture, protect that way of life, to protect that understanding, just that understanding of that.
Understanding, absolutely. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt, any comments?
No comments. No comments.
Okay. What are some things that your administration can improve on going forward?
There's a lot of things that we can improve on moving forward. No, there's no question. When you ask that, that's a very broad scope. But I think that one, just looking at it as a general whole, what can we do to improve as an administration? Understanding the importance of what we're doing, and then understanding also the importance, but understanding the privilege that we have to serve and to serve our people. To understand the importance of what we do, and then understanding the importance of the privilege that we have to be able to serve our people. And I think if we understand that, and it comes from our heart, I think if we better understand that, then we'll be better understanding the platform that we have in front of us. And that we don't take it, that we take it with a sense of urgency. Mm-hmm. I just think that I would share that as looking at what I would hope that our administration will always understand.
You often use in some of your talks the word servant. Can you kind of describe that? What does it mean to be a servant?
To me, it means you give your heart to what you're trying to do, and you serve somebody beside yourself, and you serve for the greater good. And that's just the way that I look at the being a servant, because you are. It's all we are, is servants. We just happen to have a particular role, a particular purpose, particular involvement, a particular aspect, but it all comes through the moment of being a servant. Because to me, it goes back to the comment I made about privilege. It's a privilege to be a servant. And no matter what role we're in, we're always a servant. We're serving somebody. And we can never, I don't want to forget that.
We got about a minute left. You got anything you want to finish up with, Chief? Anything you want to put up?
No, other than the fact that I want the people who are listening to understand the impact and the importance of the impact of what just took place in regards to, again, the reservational boundaries and what that represents to the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. I'm very humbled by that, very taken by it. It means a great deal. It has a great impact on us. And I just want people to understand the importance of that, the sincerity of that, coming from the heart, because that's something that's been there. And it's been there this whole time, but it's not been really fully recognized. But it has been. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much, and I'll always be mindful of that it has been re-recognized in such a magnitude. And I hope that people out there really fully get that.
All right. Mado, and it was good to hear from you, and we'll be always an open forum for anyone that wants to come on and talk about some of these issues and things of that nature. I know you got a busy day today, and I also want to send out congratulations to Dana Miller. Dana Miller will be given the oath of office for the Seminole City Council tonight, I believe. She'll be one of the first few Native women to ever do that. So she'll be on the Seminole Council. Congratulations to you tonight, Dana. And
congratulations as well.
And stomach's growling. It's time to go.
All right.
Dennis gave me the head nod. So with that, it's another edition of the Seminole Nation Radio program. This is Bo White Killer. Hadum Chi Chatlis.